Welcome to PDAC 2023. My name is Julian DeRosie from the IIF. I'm joined today by Paul. Hi, Paul. How are you doing?
I'm doing very, very well.
Good. So, Paul, first of all, maybe if you can introduce both yourself and the company you're working for.
Sure. My name is Paul Westsells. I'm the President and CEO of Western Copper and Gold. Western Copper and Gold is a single asset development company. It's developing the Casino Copper Gold project located up in the Yukon. We've been developing this project for a little over a decade, but it's really been the past 3 years that have been by far the most exciting. 2020, we almost doubled the resource. We're now up to 10.8 billion pounds of copper, 21 million ounces of gold. Very sizable resource. 2021, we issued a PEA that turned into a feasibility study last year. And then the other big thing that happened is we brought in Rio Tinto as a strategic investor in the project. So it's been a really exciting 3 years for us as a company and for our investors. I think that 2023 might be the most exciting one yet. So,
well, this is amazing to hear. So basically, do you consider yourself a copper project or a gold project?
It is what it is. It's always more copper. There's most of the revenue is from copper, but you're right. I mean, it's when we break down the revenue, it's around 46% of the revenue from copper. I think it's 34 from gold, and then quite a bit of molybdenum. And I don't talk about molybdenum that often, but molybdenum, which was sitting around $12, $14, recently shot up to $32. It's it's identified by Canada as a critical mineral. So we've got a sizable molybdenum deposit as well.
So basically, for an investor, you get both the copper, you get both the gold, you get both the molybdenum. Any of those alone will be a tremendous discovery, all of them into one asset. I understand Rio Tinto coming in. How hard did they come in? How much money they injected? How much of the share they control right now?
Yeah, they invested at the beginning, May of 2021, and what they did, they spent about a year looking at the project and doing diligence, but they came to us and said, we need to do some additional diligence, and so we signed an agreement with them where they gave us $25.6 million. That gave them around 8% of the outstanding shares. The agreement was that we were going to spend a year and a half with a one-time right to extend, our relationship for an extra year. They executed that right November of last year, so we have until November 28th this year. And they've got a board observer, and we've got technical committee, a bunch of those things. But really, it's between now and November 28th. We're going to establish the next step for Rio, and we'll see. But obviously, that will be exciting for the company and for our shareholders.
And then in the meantime, what are the next milestones for you? So any investor that look at your resources would think, well, that's it. No more drilling. It's done. The resources is big enough. Are you guys continuing to drill it? Are you continuing to more deepening the understanding of it? Or you're actually more on the engineering phase, trying to understand how can this be developed more efficiently, more sustainably, and so on?
Yeah, you're right. So we're not planning any exploration drilling this year. We've got a great land package actually, and there are some satellite areas that we're considering drilling. But the focus this year is solely on getting our project into environmental assessment. The next big stage is to get this project permitted. We've got the feasibility study. That's the basis of the project, and so we're going to drive it through that. So, hope to have that. We're waiting to hear back from the regulator before we can sort of set when that's going to be submitted. But we anticipate it the end of this year, maybe the first quarter of next year, that submission will be in. But yeah, in addition to that, obviously Rio making making their decision in terms of what is going to happen next, which is in the next 6 months, is the other big milestone that we're looking towards. And some of the other things that are happening are pretty exciting around the project as well. The access road, the government last year sort of started the first part of the access road. The government had committed to building it, and they actually started building that, so we're excited by that. And then the latest thing is that, one of the challenges that we have is power, and because the grid in the Yukon is an isolated grid, so we're looking to generate our own power, but the government of the Yukon is really pushing now to connect that grid to the grid south of us in British Columbia. It's a game changer for our project. It's a game changer for the Yukon. that's really moving quite quickly, so we're excited by that as well.
Well, it seems like you're also benefiting of a lot of government support, both in the US, more generally for environmental permitting and so on, and both specifically in Yukon as a state by itself. Can you explain, as a CEO, when you look at such a massive project, when you look at it, and then you go on and you wake up in the morning and you're like, okay, so I have another piece of land, it's bigger, there could be more discoveries, as you told us, which everyone have just been so jealous of the one you have. What's the main driver to keep it and to actually wanting to go to production, rather than maybe wrapping it up and then giving it away like we see other exploration company doing? What drives you to wanting to produce it?
So, I mean, I think, we're driving the project forward. That's what we do, right? So, I mean, it's feasibility study, moving it towards permitting. Rio, that may be where Rio goes, is to buy the asset. We don't know. I mean, but we need to just keep driving it forward. We work hard to see if there's other people that are interested in this. That's what brought Rio in. There's others that are interested in as well. So, I mean, the reality is you always keep all your options on the table. So you look to sell it if the price is right. You keep driving it forward in the meantime, and you put yourself in a position where if you need to build it, you can build it.
That's good to hear. So anyone who wants to know more about your project, about your company, where would they do that?
Sure. I mean, our website is www.westerncopperandgold. It's long, but very simple words, .com. And I'll point out that we trade both on the TSX and the NYC American, so very good volume for a company of our size.
Perfect. Well, that was great to hear. I mean, the doubling in resources, the massive deposit that it is, the support that you have, going to feasibility, starting environmental permitting and so on. Well, those are only great things to hear at. We wish you the best of luck. We'll continue to follow the story for sure, and we invite everyone who watch a video to go on the website, get more information, get on their newsletter, and also follow the story.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much for your time.
All right.